Right now in Kenya, this is the best time to be an artist. I don't think we have had a time where doing business for an artist or even just being able to express yourself as an artist has been like this ever before. We're at a time where we are collaborating and we are developing very original concepts. There's a sun that's spitting water, there are palm trees, there's a guy and there's a chick who are playing drums, there are two traditional like beer mugs and the bottle. Those are just random elements that you can come across every day. The future for now is limitless in terms of what can be done. It's more of what do I want to achieve. We have a generation of people who are open to new ways of doing things.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Match Day Center. Well, as we prepare for our next match, let's watch the highlights from our last match, which we played against Ulinzi.
Haya, asante sana Salum Ali Salim, somo yangu Ali Salim. Asante sana kwa kweli mtazamaji, bila shaka maana shughuli ilivyoanza hasa ni ukuta kwamba wakati wa upande wa timu vijana hawa ni kwamba walikuwa AFC LEOPARDS ambao walikuwa tayari kabisa, kila mmoja maana alikuwa amekuja kuhakikisha kwamba yuko tayari, na vile vile ni kwamba kwa vijana hawa nao vijana wa Ulinzi nao walikuwa wamekuja hapa, sio kuja kwa matembezi, lakini walikuwa kuja kuhakikisha kwamba wanakuja hapa na kutoka na alama 3, lakini mambo tu yalivyokuwa, na unakuta kwamba walianza kwa kasi kabisa kwenye mlangoni kule mbele kuchambuliza kwanza kabisa ile walikwenda kujaribu kufanya kile kitendo, ilikuwa manake shambulizi kama kile tena, unakuta kwamba walikuwa pale goalkeeper alikuwa amekasirika kabisa anaona kwamba namna gani manake mbona mnapatia nafasi manake unakuta kwamba ilikuwa alikasirika sana goalkeeper Leo Chan, kwa sababu anakuta kwamba wao jamaa wanaweza kumfanyia vibaya, kwa sababu wanawachilia kwamba wanaingia mlangoni kule bila ya kuhakikisha kwamba wanazuia, na vile vile wakawa washambulizi timu baada ya nyingine ya hao Ulinzi mlangoni kwa AFC LEOPARDS. Na kwa kweli hapa nilikuwa na nafasi kupiga mapuru kupiga ile pila kupiga mpira kwamba hata bila ya kulenga pale mlangoni. Kwa hivyo wamejitahidi sana kwa kweli katika kipindi cha kwanza, kama nilivyoona vijana hawa Walinzi hawa ule Ulinzi maana ni Walinzi na tena ni Ulinzi maana jina lao na vile vile kwamba kazi yao wao ni Walinzi, na vile vile unakuta kwamba wao ni AFC Leopards katika kipindi ni kwamba vile vile walifanya mashambulizi yao. Kijana kabla kutolewa nje, kijana huyu Mwendwa alifanya mashambulizi wa kila baada kunakuta kwamba kila mashambulizi mengi za upande wa timu ya AFC Leopards ilikuwa sana Liu, na kunakuta kwa kila mara alikuwa ni kijana sana Mwendwa, ambapo kwa kweli alijikuwa anajitahidi sana na alidiwa Mwendwa huyu. Kuna wakati mpira tu alipasi moja ndani ya sanduku kwa kweli Mwendwa bila shaka alitolewa nje, na kwa kweli bila shaka ili kwamba yeye alikuwa amejitahidi sana na kupotelewa, lakini nafasi kweli nyingi zilipotea sana katika kipindi cha kwanza. Kwa hivyo timu zote mbili kwa kweli kipindi cha kwanza ni kwamba kila moja, na hapa walisaidia maana kina ujero kupiga kwenye chuma kule, baada hakuwa na bahati kabisa kijana huyo Mwendwa baada ya mpira ule kuna kupiga chuma pale kutoka nje, kwa sababu si hakutaka hivyo, lakini kwamba ndivyo mambo yalivyo na walijitahidi kwa kila mahali. Ndio kama nilivyokuambia mechi hiyo au katika kipindi hicho kwanza au kipindi cha pili, kwamba unakuta vijana hawa kila mmoja alikuwa anajaribu kuhakikisha kwamba nifanye vizuri, hasa Mwendwa kwa amejitahidi sana. Na kipindi cha kwa kweli baada ya kipindi cha kwanza vile kumalizika, ni kwamba kila mmoja alihakikisha kwamba waje katika kipindi cha pili, basi ikawa nao mashambulizi mengine vijana hawa wa ulinzi nao wakiwa wanajaribu kufanya mashambulizi kuhakikisha kwamba angalau wafanye mambo yafanye mazuri, kwa sababu kila mmoja anataka kupata ushindi, lakini mapuru yalikuwa ni mengi sana. Mapuru hii ni mipira ile ambayo hailengi, tunaita mapuru, iko ni mengi sana, mipira pia golini lakini hailengi pale golini. Kwa hivyo ni kwamba wakina jaribu kujituma sana vijana hao. Kwa mfano kijana pale kama nilivyosema hapa Wamalwa kuna wengine ambao jaribu kila upande kila kujituma huku, lakini ni kwamba tu nafasi zile zimepotezwa hivi, ni kwamba kama nafasi ya wazi ile AFC Leopards ambayo kule ilikuwa kwenye kuhesabika tu, kile moja ilikuwa kuhesabu kwamba ile ni bao, maana kwa nafasi ambayo ilipatikana ya ambazo nafasi kama hizo huo ni nadra, kwa sababu alikwenda na akabakia na goalkeeper, na goalkeeper mwenyewe alikuwa ametoka kabisa pale, alikuwa ni kutulia tu na kuweza kuchukua mpira ule kutumbuiza ndani ya nyavu zile, lakini ikawa manake mpira ule akautoa nje bila ya utulivu tu na kuweza kupata bao zuri kabisa. Sasa bao lenyewe hili lililofungwa hapa ni kwamba ni nguvu mpya wachezaji wawili pale ambao waliweza kuingia katika pande ya timu ya AFC Leopards na akaweza kuleta bao hilo, kwa kweli bao safi kabisa ambalo kwa kweli liliweza kuwafanya mashabiki bila shaka ambao wanatizama huko majumbani au nyumbani huko walienuka na kuhakikisha bwana kwamba baada ya kuinuliwa na kijana huyo Thiongo ambaye ni nguvu mpya ambaye vile vile aliweza kuandaliwa na mchezaji mwenzake vile vile nguvu mpya na kuweza kufanya mambo mazuri, yani kupata bao la kwanza ambapo ilikuwa ni mechi yake ya kwanza kabisa kupata ushindi baada ya kushindwa ya kuweza kwenda kushindwa vijana hawa wa AFC Leopards. Kwa kweli ukiangalia hasa walijitahidi kwa kweli, na ukiangalia kwa kweli pale mimi naona kama ambaye kajibwaga yule, maana wajua wachezaji kama wacheza sinema pale, ukiangalia kama ambaye kajibwaga pale, ukiangalia kwa kweli penalty sikiona, si maana yeye ataka uangalie sana kuona itakwenda mgani, nataka uangalie kwa makini kabisa kwa kweli anashindwa huyu kajibwaga, na Rivalry kwa kweli kumaliza. Kwa hivyo bila shaka kwa vile hatuna budi ya kukamilisha neno na kuambia kwamba Kasarani mambo yanakamilika kuanzia namna hii.
Well, that is how things were on Wednesday when we played Ulinzi Stars. We won 1-0. Now, thank you for joining us on FC TV for Match Day Center today. We're preparing for our next match, which is against KAKAMEGA HOMEBOYZ, and we going through the analysis just to look at the team sheet, and also what to expect. And as usual, I'll be joined by our great team that helps us in this. I'm joined by Gladys Midecha. Hi, Gladys.
Victor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I am fine. I am enjoying the hot, scorching sun of Nairobi as we wait to see what this wonderful fixture has for us.
Now it's match day 12 for us. We're looking forward to a very tight match,
Yes.
a match that we would really like to win. Um, what are your thoughts perhaps on the last match which we played against Ulinzi Stars?
Well, Victor, I had the opportunity to catch that match live in Kasarani, and I can tell you those were two different halves, two different playing tactics, and I was very excited that for the first time in a long time I've seen an FC Leopards that wants more, and Leopards that is hungry, a Leopards that can actually come back in the second half, and you can see change. We all know that Ulinzi Stars is one of the technically, when it comes to speaking tactics, they are a very, very defensive team. If you look at the log, they have conceded the least number of goals. They have uh, one of the best defenses in the league right now. So to get 3 points from Ulinzi Stars really was the kind of confidence that we needed going into this match today, Victor.
Yeah, I think I also saw we had a match of two halves where we took the match maybe by the horns in the second half. We managed to now stamp our authority. Lindsay were quite defensive on this one. Now, as we look forward to this next match, it's a match with a lot of crazy statistics, which we look through. Kakamega Homeboys versus AFC Leopards, a very tight match for us. Um, just as we have the lineups coming up, we have a situation where this season we are ahead of Kakamega Homeboys on the log. We could say we are
Yes.
miles off, but the head-to-head record between these two sides is crazy. Now, let's look at now the head-to-head records between these two teams. We see that Kakamega Homeboys, we've won four matches versus there are five more wins which they have. There are two draws between the two sides. But when Kakamega Homeboys are at home, they are a very little side against Leopards. This is almost 12 goals which we've conceded on the road to Kakamega Homeboys. What are your thoughts on this kind of record as we go to face this side?
Well, you have to give credit where it's due. I think Kakamega Homeboys have been absolutely amazing in the last season. But coming into this season, it's a bit difficult. It's a bit different. This is not the Kakamega Homeboys we saw last season. And this is not the same FC Leopards we had last season. There's a lot of confidence boost on FC Leopards side. And I can't say the same match for Nicolas Muyoti and his boys because last season they were at a very, very good place. Remember, they finished second, third on the log, um, way ahead of us. And I can say this head to head really means a lot. One of those losses that we had was a 4-1 loss against Kakamega Homeboys, and it was in Bukhungu Stadium. So you can imagine the kind of atmosphere that is going to be at the stadium. Not a pretty record, but I think something is going to change today. I am confident. Um, with the boys this season and with how I've seen them play so far. I can't say that it's not something to worry about. Of course it is. But if you look at our recent form, it is something to go by. We are conceding less goals than we did before. So hopefully this is going to be a mouth-watering clash.
Great. It's a mouth-watering clash. One thing that we realize is the last win which we had against Kakamega Homeboys was in 3rd April 2013. It's quite a long time. That is
Yes.
when we were away to them, and they technically they've been unbeaten at home against us since 2013. This is a long stretch. As you've seen, there've been only be two draws in our last 11 meetings. Maybe as we'll have a look at the lineups, how does our coach now really approach this match, considering this kind of history as we go into this match?
My opinion in how the coach is going to approach this match, and when I look at that lineup, I see Mukangula in midfield. That means he probably wants to ensure that he's locking the midfield to make sure the likes of Alan Wanga don't get any supply from the likes of Moses Mudavadi. And it's going to be a very technical match, in my opinion. We have to remember that Nicolas Muyoti is an old boy of FC Leopards, and there is pride for him when he comes into this match, of course, trying to beat FC Leopards. We are seeing the creativity of Fabrice in the middle right now. That tells you that he wants a little bit of creativity, but he also wants someone to lock out the midfield of Kakamega Homeboys. So it's going to be an interesting first half to see exactly what role the likes of Olilo will play, because he is in a formation where it looks like we're playing a 4-3-3, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, we have Shaka making Shaka again starts with Rupia up front. Then we have Olilo coming in for Mwendo. There's quite some big change. Mukangula also gets in. So the wingers who started the last match are out. Perhaps a ball playing setup ahead of us.
Yes, probably he knows that if you look at the second half and in regard to how we played against Ulinzi, he brought in speed at the second half, and that is how we were able to lock Ulinzi, and that is how we were able to get that goal courtesy of Peter Thiongo. And probably he just wants to contain this first half, see how get the tactics of how Kakamega Homeboys will play, and then hopefully be able to make the necessary changes in the second half. Because again, if you look at our bench, we have the likes of Mwendwa, a man who didn't disappoint us in the first half in the match against Ulinzi. But coming into this game, I think, my opinion, Harry Mwendwa has always been more impactful from the bench. So probably it was a wise decision for him to start at the bench.
Now, speaking of which, we have Elvis Rupia, 11 goals, and just maybe as we have a look at his goals, then we can now come back and discuss on the strategy that can now make us close down our opponents on this one. Let's have a look at these highlights of Rupia's goals this season. So Elvis has quite an amazing record on the score sheet there, just second behind Kapaito of Sharks. Now, who's going to be our main danger now? If we look at Kakamega Homeboys, as far as the season is concerned, who should we look out for on that team? Gladys, for Kakamega Homeboys, they have the experience of
Well,
Alan
well,
Wanga. Yes.
yes. Well, I know they, of course, Alan Wanga is going to be the man to watch out for. Um, I, I, I was worried about their goalkeeper, but when he got the red card in the match against Zoo, that means that second keeper is coming in with probably a lot of pressure in this match. But when you look at Alan Wanga, he is one man who's very, very lethal in front of goal. Although Kakamega Homeboys this season really haven't scored very many goals, so it's going to be a little bit of it's going to be a little bit interesting to see who comes up. But I won't take my eyes off midfielder Moses Mudavadi. We know how he loves to move into the 18-yard box and into the 6-yard box. He's a man, if you give him space, he will definitely punish you. So I think that is why we have employed the likes of Mukangula to come in. So I am not very sure on how Kakamega Homeboys, I wish we could, I don't know if their lineup is we don't have their lineup yet. But if I would have seen the lineup, we would be talking about something different right now.
No, great. Actually, speaking of the Kakamega Homeboys record, they've played 5 matches at home, only 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss, which was to Tusker earlier in the season. Their goal scoring record at home hasn't been perhaps much more exciting this season than the last one. There are 5 goals which they've scored, but they've conceded 2 goals so far this season. So we definitely expect a match where we can perhaps probe them, considering that we have a defense that is tighter, and our record on the road hasn't been bad. Now, maybe Gladys, do you think playing on Sunday has an impact on our team rather than during the weekdays?
I don't think so. I think it's all about psychology and preparation. If you are well prepared, it doesn't matter when you're playing that match. It's all about how psychologically prepared are you as a team. And I'm looking at this lineup. No much change from how we played against Tulinzi. At the back, it's Mainge, Esilaba, Senaji, and Kipiegon. Senaji was man of the match. He was absolutely commanding of that defense. We are still expecting him to do the same. I know Kipiegon will probably be captain again. But if you look at who we have at the bench, it gives you hope that for the first time in a long time, FC Leopards actually has depth in terms of defense, because we still have Bandi and Kamura who can come in anytime and change the game. And let's not forget the roles that these players are going to play. So for me, it's not about when you play, whether it's midweek or it is over the weekend. It's all about how ready are the boys.
You know why I said midweek is because the losses we've had have been during the week. So perhaps a weekend match gives our boys a bit more composure on a match day.
Yeah.
Now, there's the reason why people ask why is it that there's so much heated rivalry between FC Leopards and Kakamega. Now, I give people a stat that makes this. The last time Kakamega Homeboys lost to Leopards, which was in 2013, Leopards went on to win 2-1 in November 2013 as we were chasing the second spot in the league. And that win condemned Kakamega Homeboys to relegation. And since then, Kakamega Homeboys came back with vengeance, and they've never really failed to speak about it much more openly. In fact, it even affected the transfer of Harun Shakava when Kakamega Homeboys blatantly refused to even sell him to Leopards because of that kind of rivalry that cropped up. Now, as we prepare to go for the match, for the fans who are joining us, please note that this match is not live on this platform. We will just be here for perhaps a watch along. The match is going to be on BTV. You can follow the match on BTV. But this broadcast which you're having here, this match build up, is brought to you by Kenya Originals. Kenyan Originals are manufacturers of amazing products. You can get your own as you prepare for the match and watch along the match as you enjoy. Otherwise, we know that there is preparation. You can get your start times up. There's a lot of comments before I go. Uh, there's a lot of comments here from the fans. Let me quickly go through them. We have we have please send in your predictions. Send in your predictions. Let us know what you think of the match. Let us know what you think of the result that you expect. We have Amin Hassan who says all the best, Chingwe. Thank you. We also have Kanamzo Naomi. Kanamzo says all the best. um there is a Jachel Swabusia who says, what position are we on the log? Come on, man.
Victor,
Yeah.
Victor,
Yes,
Victor, if I
yes,
may, the match has just started, so let's
yes.
go off to Bukhungu
I know
Stadium and see
you.
what the
I
boys.
I I know you will be going off to Bukhungu Stadium. I will just see off the fans as I join the match in Bukhungu. Um. So see you at halftime as we talk through the half for you. Otherwise, for the rest of us who are joining in, you can watch the match, tune into your Star Times app or BTV and watch the match. I'll stay around. I'll stay around to see if we can catch up with the first 5 minutes, just a quick watch along with you fans, and then I will perhaps run away. I can see the sides are already in the pitch. Our lads are already much prepared, and we anticipating quite a very wonderful tie. Send us through your comments. Uh, Send us through your predictions. Let us see what you think of this match. For the fans who are joining us, thank you very much for coming through. And let's see. Let's meet at halftime as we go through the rest of the highlights with you.
In my view, being a Kenya regional is being true to who you are. There are just moments when that question of what do you want to do with your life, what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel fulfilled. I had faith that if I do my work well and just put it out there, it's going to connect. It's like you're putting a note in a bottle and then throwing it in the ocean, and then you're just hoping something comes back. Because we went from a place of people are nervous for you to them now trusting and enjoying the journey with you. The KO partnership has been really cool, and when I looked at their visual identity, already had so much rich color. They're not afraid to try new things, they're not afraid to be bold, to be different. It just felt like a match made in heaven.
First time I'm having my art on something I'm drinking at. First time for everything.
Right now in Kenya, this is the best time to be an artist. I don't think we have had a time where doing business for an artist or even just being able to express yourself as an artist has been like this ever before. We're at a time where we are collaborating and we are developing very original concepts. There's a sun that's pit in water, there are palm trees, there's a guy and there's a chick who are playing drums, there are two traditional beer mugs and the bottle. Those are just random elements that you can come across every day. The future for now is limitless in terms of what can be done. It's more of what do I want to achieve. We have a generation of people who are open to new ways of doing things.